is in the purse.
What's going on, guys? Happy Thursday. I couldn't remember. Literally just rewatched the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion part 1, and I watched the Peacock version. And do I think it's worth it if you don't have Peacock to watch the Peacock version? I don't know if it's worth it unless you already have it. If you already have Peacock, definitely. It only adds a couple more minutes, and it's just like little filler moments. I'll talk about some of what stood out to me in those little filler moments because they expand about the Dorit and Kyle stuff. Dorit must have really pissed off Kyle during BravoCon because someone at BravoCon brought up the comment about Teddy. We'll talk about it. We'll talk all about that in just a second. As always, guys, don't forget to like, comment, all that stuff. Live chat, we see you guys being a part of our live recap. I have to say, though, last night I watched both the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Miami reunions. I was like, this was a stellar night of reunions. I think Miami's reunion was really good. I thought Beverly Hills reunion was entertaining. I was literally like engaged in everything that was happening on both reunions. What about you guys? All right, we're just talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but be sure to vote in our live chat poll. But if you're watching on TikTok or Twitter or on Facebook, let us know how you would rate the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion from 1 to 10. All right, we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about it. We are going to take some callers as well, but I do want to let you guys know we just dropped another video. This one's an update. This is an update in regards to the Diddy situation. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. If you're watching on YouTube, we've pinned it in the live chat. Go check that out. Go give it a like. Go give it a comment. I'm going to get into this, and we're going to break down this Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion.
Baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer. Just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget you can take us on the go by downloading our podcast, Kempire, on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. Also, we dropped an audio version of a collaboration that we did with Grace Report, Layla Lynn, and Stephanie from Wine and Chill, our legal eagle, breaking down this recent Diddy situation and Portia Gobadia situation. So be sure, if you want to hear that collab with additional content, on the Kempire podcast today. You can also watch it over on Grace Report's channel. All right, so Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Gosh, how would I rate this reunion? I thought the reunion was good. I probably, just in honor of Anna Marie, 8.5. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Mirth is in the purse.
I'm just going to use that until we're, done with the reunions. I would give it an 8.5. I thought it was a good reunion. I thought it was a good start. Did it make me like Kyle anymore? No. Did it make me believe that Kyle is going to come out as a lesbian? In Kyle's world, that would make her more interesting. And I'm saying it won't, Kyle. Has Kyle always been an undercover lesbian? No, I think Kyle just wants something different. I think she will get bored with it like she does everything else. Like she's bored with Dorit now, so she's throwing Dorit under the bus. I'm so confused. Not that I'm confused. I'm not. I'm confused by Kyle's actions. I'm confused as 1 minute she's saying on Amazon Live that her and Dorit aren't that close and they don't hang out that much. But in the same breath, like, you're supposed to be my friend. I love you. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, the way you're making it seem is like you and Dorit are just work friends. And then in the same breath, you expect loyalty from your work friend when it comes to the whole Kathy of it all. Now I kind of understand where Kathy might be coming from. When it comes to you, you're so inconsistent. I am so frustrated with Kyle. I can't tell you. Not frustrated. More like just, girl, I need a break from Kyle. I need like a real break from Kyle. All right. Sidebar. You know, on the other Housewives shows, we get to see the husbands. So at the top of this reunion, Andy jokes, oh, Mauricio's here. And she's like, why isn't Mauricio there? Sidebar, is it because, you know, he's on buying Beverly Hills and that's part of it? But has he ever been there? I can't remember at this point. Why isn't he there? Your biggest storyline is about your husband, and he's not there to answer for any of those questions. Honestly, that probably would have made it a little bit more interesting. The whole Drew Sidora of it all. Having the husband there sit right there and answer some of these questions. Why am I yelling? Am I Anna Marie? Oh my gosh. So Andy lies to Kyle and says, oh, Mauricio's going to be here. And she's just like, oh. But then I thought to myself, like, why isn't he there? Why isn't he there? Is he in DR with Curtis from Married to Medicine? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, Mauricio. But you don't have to go to DR to find some. Anyways, we're gonna leave that alone. So Dorit is backstage and she has a conversation with Erica Jane about a text message that she received from Kyle the night before the reunion. And we're not going to read that text. I read the text. You can read the text. Shout out to our friends over at Bravo Snarkside on Instagram. They have the text over there. Go check it out there if you want to read the text. I don't want to read that text because that text was so damn long and manipulative. I do agree with Dorit. It was manipulative because she's just like, I don't, maybe after the reunion we can have a conversation, because clearly Kyle has some sort of beef with Dorit. I still don't understand this beef. Even after Kyle explains it in this part one, I don't get the beef with Dorit. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't even care, to be honest with you. You sound like a draining friend. I would never want to be your friend, Kyle. I would never want to be your friend. Thank God we will never be. Just saying. Oh my goodness. So let me start in order. So we have Dorit showing Kyle's text to Erica. Erica reads the text and she's just like, damn, why is this so damn long? And then she says, it does come across manipulative, the text message. All right. And Dorit believes that Kyle is trying to silence her. I mean, that might be a little dramatic, but I can't tell Dorit how to feel on reading a long text message like that. I was just like, well, you know what, Dorit, you signed up for the Fox Force flunkies. When you came in with the oath of being a part of the Fox Force flunkies, this is what you've chosen to deal with. All right? And clearly, Dorit even says in this episode that if Kyle doesn't like you, she'll punish you. And I was like, what? Punish you? All right. Which is so funny to me. Maybe Dorit thought that she was closer with Kyle than Kyle really ever felt for her. And that might be because Mauricio and PK are best friends, I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know if they're real best friends, but that's how Dorit has described them. All right. Rebecca Unfiltered says, for years, Kyle has tried to control her friends and what come up on the show about her life and what comes up on the show about her life. If you don't stick to her script, she will dismiss you, just how she says Kathy is. Well, she learned it from somewhere. No. Well, here's the thing. I think we all kind of knew that about Kyle, and that's why a lot of people are sort of over Kyle. And I think that's probably part of the reason why she doesn't see it for LVP, because I do think that LVP is manipulative, but I also think that Kyle is manipulative. And maybe that's why they don't see it for each other. All right. So that happens even before the reunion starts. Can we talk about the reunion set? So we love the reunion set for Real Housewives of Orange County. So they wanted to have that sort of same theme. I don't know if they're using the same studio lot for this, and that's how they were able to do it. Regardless, I loved it. I hope they do more of that. I thought this was really, really great. Where's my reunion set? Do I have the picture? Yeah, here we go. I thought this was so cool because it looks so freaking real. I liked it. I mean, I don't love their reunion outfits though. They really do need like a color scheme because on the right side with Sutton, Garcelle, and Crystal. First of all, looking at Garcelle and Crystal, I was like, I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Like I was getting holiday vibes. And then on the left side, I'm just like, it's just a mess. And Dorit, who we've known to have like the fashions, seeing it move in movement, I was just bored with it. I was like, it looks like just fabric you threw around you, and you're giving us what? What was your inspiration? I don't know. I don't know what her inspiration was for this look. And then the one curl to come down her head. I mean, she takes risk. I think she failed here, but okay. But I really did love the reunion set. I thought the reunion set was so cool to kind of have that because it does feel like they are outside. I thought that was really, really cool. Anyways, I say all that to say because Dorit, everyone else is ready for this reunion. Dorit's running late because they're trying to sew her into her dress. Andy is not happy about it. He's like, I'm so happy I got here at 8:15. Mind you, he's jet lagged too, probably. Jessica says, Muslim vibes. Not her appropriating. Look, not her appropriating. The unconscious Karen behavior strikes again. Anyways, hold on, y'all. I want to change something here. Let me do this. All right. So eventually, Dorit does arrive. Thanks, Dorit. Appreciate you showing up to the reunion. You're having Andy waiting. So they start unpacking some of the stuff at the reunion. Erica says that she feels better this reunion because just a couple of reunions ago she was under fire. This season, not so much. She's not under fire like previous seasons. So she had told Andy during Watch What Happens Live she wants Kyle eviscerated. Well, not Kyle specifically. She wants people held accountable the way that she was held accountable. All right. Kyle says that she didn't take it personal when Erica said that on Watch What Happens Live. All right. I don't think Kyle wants to go up against Erica. Rightfully so, because Erica will get you locked up. They won't let me out. Allegedly. Though, if you saw Housewife and the Hustler Part 2, then you know what I'm talking about. Hello, Marco. I can see that they won their, not won, but this case that they have against Erica is going to move forward. Anyways, so that also came out this week. All right. So the issues, because we start this reunion off with the issues between Kyle and Dorit, and we end the reunion with the issues between Kyle and Dorit. Do you believe these issues between Kyle and Dorit, or do you think this is them setting us up for their issues in season 14 next year? Because a part of me feels like, are they just coming up with a storyline? And then the other part of me is like, no, Kyle has this consistent behavior of doing this with her friends. And I never really believed that Dorit and Kyle were like deep friends, but I thought they were definitely more friendly than the way Kyle is making it seem. All right. So Kyle says that, she didn't like Dorit's comments on her relationship with Morgan. She also didn't like the fact that Dorit was bringing up her marriage on camera. So it's sort of like, Kyle, you can do this with other people. You can be a mini producer, but Dorit, who's your friend, can ask about your marriage. I don't even feel like Dorit asked her anything salacious. I didn't feel like, especially like when you look at how Sutton and Garcelle were bringing up the ring and the cheating rumors and things. I felt like Dorit was very nice about it. I really do. But when she says that she felt like Dorit bringing up the Morgan stuff was going to make it a big thing in the media. And I said, and so what does this music video that you did with Morgan do? What does this music video with you almost kissing Morgan in it do? For me, it's the clear hypocrisy. You're concerned about her talking about Morgan on the show and your relationship with Morgan on the show, but you are doing full-on sex scenes in a music video when your kids are crying on the last episode about the marriage troubles. And I know Kyle said, oh, that happened before. That happened before. Does that make it better? Does that make it better? I mean, if it came out that Mauricio had cheated on you, then I think we would probably like, go ahead, Kyle, do it all. But no, you're saying that it had nothing to do with cheating. You guys grew apart, blah, blah, blah. But I don't understand how you're mad. You're mad at Dorit for talking about what everybody in the streets have been talking about, which I've never believed. And even if she comes out and says that, oh, I'm dating Morgan, I believe that that will be momentary. Morgan, don't fall for it, girl. Don't fall for it, scissoring. We gonna be scissoring. Anyways, I say all that to say, Kyle and Dorit are not in the best place. And Dorit wants to get to the bottom of it, but we don't get to the bottom of it just yet. All right? So, as always, during the reunion, we have different packages that they play for each housewife. The first package that they play is with Garcelle. So, Garcelle's, storyline this season was about her kids and, them growing apart and things like that. So, Garcelle mentioned something. First of all, she said the reason why she even did reality TV was so that she could be more at home. Because, her son, Jax, was very critical of her working and things like that. And Garcelle was busy these last couple of years. She's come out with so many things, like 3 things last year she came out with. And 2 of those things I heard were renewed for Netflix. So I'm happy for her. I'm happy for Garcelle. She's worked hard. All right. But she said part of the reason why she even did reality television was so that she could be at home with her boys. So they also talk about that scene where Jack says that, he found out about the cheating, his father's cheating when he was very young. And apparently her ex still has not spoken to the boys about that cheating. She says he hasn't even spoken to her about that cheating. So she says when it comes to like relationships and sex and things like that, she makes it a point to have those conversations with the boys. I feel for Garcelle because you know what? That's tough. And you know what? Shame on those kids' father, because it's almost like she's a single mom. I mean, she is. Technically, but you get what I'm saying. Like, there's no father around. You need to step up. You cheated on their mother for 5 years of the 9 years that you were married, and you can't have a conversation with your boys about what you did. You can't show remorse. You can't. She's taking the brunt of them probably feeling like, Mom, you blew up our lives by leaving Dad and divorcing Dad. And he's never said a thing about it to them. I'm hoping after this that he will. I doubt it, because he's a punk. Oh, damn. No, he's a punk. I'm sorry, Jackson Jade. I know that's your daddy, but I got it. Hopefully you're not watching this. Probably is, though, because he was watching all the stuff at 8. Punk, look, Daddy is a punk. And poor Garcelle, not poor Garcelle, but you get what I'm saying. Poor Garcelle has to step up and be the mommy and the daddy like she's a single parent. Like Daddy's not around. I can't tell you how angry I was about that. I was like, he hasn't said a thing? All right, let me not dig too deep into that because I'll be on that for the rest of this damn live. Punk. I mean, we already knew he was a punk. You had a 5-year affair on your wife. Anyways, I say all that to say, let's talk about the Garcelle and Dorit beef. So Garcelle and Dorit discussed their issues because, as you know, Garcelle told the ladies when they were in Vegas she doesn't trust them around her kids. But it was Dorit who had the biggest reaction, which is interesting because a hit dog gonna holler. Because she made it, it's not like she had pointed out it was Dorit. She said the group, all right? So they addressed her comment about unconscious Karen behavior. They made it seem as if it was Garcelle saying that Dorit was an unconscious Karen. She never said that Dorit was a Karen. She said that there is some unconscious Karen behavior from Dorit. All right? So Garcelle brings up the whole idea of attack and the word that Dorit used in that argument. All right? And Garcelle pointed out, you had a home invasion. You had these intruders attack you. So you know the difference between the word attack that you use in our conversation versus what happened to you. Okay? I was uncomfortable during that. I was just like, ooh, I don't know if we want to use this as an example, but I get where you're going, Garcelle. I get where you're going. She's like, you know the difference between an attack and what I was doing there. And we talked about this. We talked about how Dorit elevated a situation that did not need to be elevated. But let me tell you something, Anna Marie. See, I'm being nice. I didn't call her 8.5. Anna Marie, and I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Okay? Why did Anna Marie feel the need to chime in this situation, almost to discredit what Garcelle was trying to say in this moment? So Anna Marie decides to say, can I, say something? She brings up the conversation that she was having with Sutton, and Sutton accused her of yelling at her. Okay? And look, I get her point, but to almost direct it at Garcelle, Anna Marie was like, it was giving pick me vibes, Anna Marie. She was like, the only one that defended me was Dorit. I don't know if she was defending you. She was pointing out, well, she's not yelling. She's not yelling. What did you want Garcelle to do in that moment? What did you want Garcelle to do? If anything, you should have pointed it out to Sutton, but you were intruding on a conversation. Both can be true, Anna Marie. Sutton could have been having some unconscious Karen behavior, and so could Dorit. So you chiming in, almost as if you're trying to discredit Garcelle's experience, and then pointing out, well, I'm a black woman too. Oh, so now are we black women struggle fighting right now? What? It felt so cringy, her chiming in that moment, almost to defend Dorit. I was just like, wait, what? Anne-Marie, I get where you're coming from. Sutton elevating what you said. No one here is going to say Sutton is innocent or, doesn't have, her own unconscious Karen behavior. But to come on in during this moment to defend Dorit, she defended me in that moment. And Garcelle was just like, she's like, I'm not going to even argue with you. I'm not going to even doing that. I didn't see that coming, but I should have seen that coming because, like everything in life, 8.5 is a 5.8. I was just so turned off by that. What she could have said in that moment, what 8.5 could have said, she could have said, well, you know what? Not to take away from what you're saying, Garcelle, I feel like I had the same experience with Sutton. Instead of taking that, instead of taking away from Garcelle's situation and defending Dorit, well, she was like, Dorit, defended me. No, what you could have said is like, well, Sutton, I think Sutton also has some unconscious Karen behavior. I don't think any of us would have disagreed. Because literally in that moment, I was like, well, I don't think Anna Marie was yelling at you, Sutton. You know what I mean? But here we are. You wanted to discredit Garcelle, and it was clear that was your intention. And it looked like you and Dorit are trying to form some sort of alliance during this reunion. I could tell. Elsie Charm says, it was Pick Me. Anna Marie is so insecure. And she's a fan, and there's nothing wrong with being a fan of the show, but it was so clear because she was bringing up stuff of things that she wasn't there for in her argument with Crystal. And I was just like, I know they're going to call you a fan. because you weren't there. You weren't there for some of the things that happened with Crystal. I get it. You wanted to use it as your sort of way of defending yourself, but it didn't land for me. Thank you so much, Joe, for the super chat. Joe says, do you prefer reading the lengthy text or listening to an audio message that long? Honestly, I would have preferred an audio message because then we could have played it at the reunion, and that way I wouldn't have to listen. I wouldn't have to read that. Because I was reading that text message in Kyle's voice, and that's annoying enough. All right, guys, you're just joining us. Be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok, those of you watching on Twitch, Twitter, those of you watching on Facebook, and of course, our live chat on YouTube. We appreciate you all being here. Don't forget, you can also listen to us on the Kempire podcast. All right, we'll be uploading our live recap there. Deborah, thank you so much for the super chat. Deborah says, did you realize how Anne-Marie quoted things from past? Damn, Deborah, we see each other. Did you realize how Anna Marie quoted things from past seasons? Screams fan to me. She had an agenda. Well, she did her research. That was part of her research for the reunion. I don't think she realized that it wouldn't land well for her. All right. I don't think there's anything wrong with her being a fan, though. I've said this during our Salt Lake City recap. All these housewives that come on now are fans of the show, and there's nothing wrong with being a fan. The problem here is that you're using stuff that you didn't experience yourself to defend yourself. It just comes across like, but you weren't there for that. So you don't really know everything. Okay, you know an edited version like we do. All right, Joe, thank you so much for the super chat. Joe says Kyle and LVP are similar. Thank you guys so much on TikTok for the gifts. Kyle and LVP are similar with punishing friends. See, I do. I think that's probably why they can't be friends. They're too similar. Zoe, thank you so much for the super chat. Zoe says Dorit was inspired by Red Riding Hood, her look. Oh my God, this look is something else. Do I have the picture here? Oh, I know I do. I have one of the pictures. I don't know. I didn't like it though. After watching it, I definitely did not like her look. Joe, thank you so much for another super chat. Joe says, lots of comparisons mentioned by these ladies during part 1 are giving what professional Joe would say false equivalency. It's cringy to watch. Yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat, Joe. We appreciate it, guys. Don't forget, you can also support the channel just by liking the video. We're talking about the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Sidebar, guys, a week from today, we will be in Philly, March 7th. Philly, we're coming to City Winery for the Kempire After Dark, a live show. Have you gotten your tickets yet? Have you told a friend to tell a friend that lives in the area? Even if you don't live in Philly, maybe you live in South Jersey, come to the Kempire After Dark, a live show at City Winery, Philadelphia. More information will be available in the description, or head on over to KempireAfterDarkLive.com/Philly. That's KempireAfterDarkLive.com/Philly. All right, I look forward to seeing all of you guys there. All right, back to this. So Garcelle and Dorit have their own sort of back and forth. Anne-Marie jumps in. They also address Dorit's post on social media talking about after Garcelle's comment about her living in a bubble, and then she posted that very cringy IG post about being comfortable in her bubble, and her not getting how, again, unconscious carrot behavior. It didn't land. It didn't land the way that she thought it was going to land. She's like, that's not what I meant. So Dorit, at the end of the segment, asks Garcelle, like, do you want to be friends with me? Do you have a problem with me? And I have to say, Garcelle was just like, I don't know if I want to be friends with you. I don't know if I want to be friends with you. Heather, I look forward to meeting you. Heather says, I got my tickets. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right. So Garcelle does not see it for Dorit. But we could tell. But I thought in Barcelona that maybe there could be some sort of future to their friendship. But apparently not. All right. We're going to move on from there. We then move on to Sutton addressing her writing skills. You know, those little segments, because of Erica's comment about her writing, the writing the bold skills. She's like, that might be her personal life issues as well. They also talk about Sutton making out with her personal driver more than once. Kyle also brings up that about possibility of her being with a woman. She said, well, I grew up a certain way. So I guess Kyle is sort of like in this era of feeling a little bit more open, she says. There are rumors that she's going to come out in regards to her relationship with Morgan. I really don't care. I don't care either way. I don't care if she comes out, because I also still believe that it will be momentary. But at the same time, if she doesn't come out, I don't care about that either. I don't care about that either. Kyle, you're just so unbearable to watch. Unbearable. All right. We'll get back to Kyle, of course. So Anna Marie's package. All right. Anna Marie, all right, she explains the 8.5 comments. She says, well, I even look, Mark, what is his name? Mark? Something Wiley. What is it? I don't care. It's unimportant. Her husband. I'm thinking about Marcus from Real Housewives of Miami. Regardless, I say all that to say, she addresses the 8.5 comments. I guess she doesn't regret saying it. Even when they replayed it, I was like, damn, girl, why did you even say that? Why did you even bring it up? Well, she explains it. She's like, we don't see it as anything. I think he's also an 8.5 as well. Hopefully 8.5 where it matters. Marcellus. Thank you, Melissa. Marcellus. You can see why I mixed it up. I'm thinking Marcus. I'm like, what's his name? Anyways, it's unimportant. Okay. All right. All right. So sidebar though, and we find out that Anna Marie during filming lost her mom. Her mom passed away due to cancer. They found like this huge tumor in her lung. So she gets really emotional about that. Sorry about that, Anna Marie. I can't even imagine. And it had to be hard. She never brought it up during filming. And I get why she wouldn't bring it up. Sometimes certain things are just too real. You see, she could barely talk about it. And she was like, yes, let's move on. Let's move on. I can't imagine. We were just talking about, we were talking about that lost their mom. Oh, we were talking about Wendy Williams in that situation. And her losing her mom. So, and we were talking about Melissa Ford talking about losing her mom. So I understand why she might not have wanted to share that during filming, and she kind of put it to the side. All right. But she also talks about the criticism that she's felt since starting the show. And Andy says, well, yeah, you can't prepare yourself for the fans and their criticism. And we've said this about the Bravo universe as well. Understandably, look, I know we joke and we have our kiki here. However, that you put yourself on a reality show, we're going to do that. But some of these folks go in her comment section, go in her DMs, tag her when they're commenting about her. We don't do that here. We talk behind their backs. It's not my fault if you see it. It's not my fault if you see it. And stop tagging housewives or celebrities in our posts. Some of y'all do that. And I'm like, why are you tagging these people? Why are you doing that? Tagging Bravo, tagging Andy. And I was like, Andy's not going to see it. That's probably, y'all are probably the reason why Andy blocked me. It's not because of me. It's because y'all kept on tagging him. That's the reason why. Anyways, so Anna Marie talks about the criticism from fans and how that has affected her. All right. Anna Marie also talks about how Crystal is very different off camera versus what she got when she joined the show. Then they get into this conversation, and this is where the Peacock version is a little different, because the Peacock version, they go in regards to this whole explaining of an anesthesiologist versus I'm not going to get into the pronunciation of that other one. And Anna Marie gets into there's this whole political thing in between the two of them. And I'm thinking to myself, and I said this to you guys before when we were covering this, and Anna Marie going on social media explaining what a nurse I can't even think of the word. Y'all know what I'm talking about. What a nurse version of that is and what an anesthesiologist is. Fine. Fine. But my biggest issue with you, Anna Marie, it's not about nurses versus doctors. I hated the fact that you started to direct it in that way. It was you weaponizing your medical expertise in order to make it seem like something was going on with Sutton that wasn't what Sutton said it was. You really, really try to redirect this whole conversation to nurses versus doctors. Thank you, Chocolate Chunk. And look, look, there goes the pronunciation. There you go. Exactly. DB says, we really don't care. But they go in more. They go in more during the unedited version or the extended version of the reunion. It wasn't about that. And I hate that the conversation, and I'm glad they edited it out for the live version, because Anna Marie, it wasn't about that. It was about how you tried to make it seem, I'm an expert in this. We get it. We get it that there are issues within the medical world between nurses and doctors. And yes, I have to say, I did learn a thing or two in regards to her particular, CRNAs and what they do and how they can work outside of doctors. But this wasn't about that. This wasn't about that. This was about how you misrepresented yourself and the information that you know, and made it seem as if there was an eating disorder with Sutton. And then you tried to make it seem, because Crystal was like, are you going to apologize for lying on me about Sutton having an eating disorder? And she didn't. She apologized to Crystal, but then matter of fact, she didn't apologize to Crystal. She said she took it to Sutton, Crystal never said you had an ED, and I never said you had an ED. And I said, lies.
The lie.
You clearly insinuated that she may have had an eating disorder. Did you not watch the show? So I can't even trust the word coming out of your mouth. But she does apologize sincerely to Sutton. And I think only reason why she's apologizing to Sutton is because of the backlash that she received in regards to it from her own community as well. Other CRNAs and anesthesiologists were like, first of all, you're incorrect with the information. And then Dr. Nicole came out and said, but let's talk about the profession. Let's talk about how you should not be using your medical expertise to almost shame someone or diagnose someone when you're not their doctor. But she does apologize to Sutton, and Sutton took the apology. Great. Sidebar, we have this little moment where, Kyle, you cannot ever... I feel like LVP, and I'm not even like a LVP stan, because we don't know these people, but LVP is always in your brain. Even during the season finale, you're bringing up LVP. You're hiring LVP's event planner. And then you tell the story... oh, Crystal met LVP, and LVP was like, oh, Crystal says, I'm on the show. And she's like, is Kyle still on the show? And then, of course, Andy laughs, and Kyle laughs as well. Kyle, girl, like your whole existence, like that's something that you felt like you needed to tell? I just don't understand. Anyways, speaking of Crystal, so Crystal's package. So Crystal talks about being distracted because, during the season, a lot of people have lost a lot of weight. Kyle, Erica Jane. Anyone else that lost weight during the season? No, that's it. That's Kyle and Erica Jane. So she talks about how that has distracted her because, she has an eating disorder. She says she got frustrated with Anna Marie because of that eating disorder comment. Anna Marie denies saying that Sutton had an eating disorder, but we literally saw her insinuate that possibly Sutton had an eating disorder on the show. And then later said that Crystal said it. Which makes me look at you, Anna Marie, like, for you to literally lie and then know that it's on film and still double down on that lie, I don't know. I don't know about you, Anna Marie. I can't even help you. So Crystal does address calling the ladies not savvy and not highly uneducated, and highly educated. Look, we've said when Anna Marie came out with that, I was like, I believe she said it. And then they rolled the tape where she said something of that same nature before on the show. And the group believes that Crystal may have said something like this. So Anna Marie, you just don't have, what's the word? The credibility for us to believe that maybe you're not exaggerating what Crystal said. Does Crystal also have a past where her credibility is a little shaky as well? Yeah. Let's not forget the dark comment and things like that. So Crystal's not the best resource either, but we literally caught you on camera, Anna Marie, lying. Okay? So Crystal says, I'm going to stick by calling Dorit specifically highly uneducated, not highly educated, because of the child bride comment. And she's like, but they said that about Elvis Presley and Priscilla. So you know how to Google schmoogle. I was like, how old was Priscilla Presley? Because there were rumors that she was a teenager. But I think, did they get together when they were teenagers? Well, when she was a teenager, but she was 21 when they got married, allegedly. Okay. So she says, they said that about Elvis and Elvis Presley, about Elvis and Priscilla Presley. All right. So Crystal points out that here's the thing. When you say something like that to an Asian woman, it's derogatory. It's almost saying that I'm a mail-ordered bride. And Garcelle, under her breath, was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about the unconscious Karen behavior. And I was like, point proven. But I make sure I heard that. I heard what Garcelle said. All right. So Crystal says, she didn't like that comment. And she said she was going to stand by calling her uneducated because of that comment. And then she points out, she's like, I'm educated. I guess you wanted to have a moment to really bring out the point because they never talk about her $100 million business, coconut water business. So she brings that up. And you could tell that Dorit is being very what's the word? Dorit is being condescending in her response by like, oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that's great. No, that is fantastic, Dorit, because with all of your business experience and education, what happened to Beverly Beach? Like, where does your money come from? Like, you by yourself without PK, how much money have you made? Because say what you want about Crystal. She may not be great reality television, but one thing I would never say is that Crystal's not smart. And good for her for developing not just a $100 million business, a very conscious business, environmentally conscious business as well. Good for her. Good for her. Norma says, yes, Dorit's response was condescending. Wow, amazing. It's like, it is amazing. $100 million business? It is amazing. I've always said that about Crystal when we found out that she had this coconut water business. I mean, they don't talk about it on the show, but I was just like, no, good for you. Dude, does that make her good reality television? Not necessarily. Do you guys think, for those that are just joining us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion part 1. Based off of this part 1 reunion, do you think that Crystal did the work in order to secure her spot to return for a 4th season next year? Let me know. I don't know. I felt like she was definitely working overtime. Joe, thank you so much for another super chat. Joe says, are almost as problematic as Drag Race fans. I'm not familiar with Drag Race fans. Are they problematic? Wow. I mean, look, I think people say that about like 90 Day Fiance fans and also about the Big Brother fans. I think anyone that's fanatical. Thank you so much, Julie, for the super chat. Julie says, Anna Marie on Juicy Scoop this morning, and she said that she had ties to Kyle but never watched the show, then said on my downtime from school, she watched 6 seasons. She's a fan. Dorit wants to see KH. KH? Okay. Um, Thank you so much for the super chat. Joe, thank you so much for another super chat. Joe says, on Juicy Scoop today, 8.5 said that she met Marcellus when she was on her residency. Oh. CRNAs do a 3-year program and do not complete a residency. Again, she continues to misrepresent herself. Well, thank you so much for listening to that, so to give us some context. And I think this is part of what Crystal was saying. She misrepresents herself with her terminology. I will say this, though, Crystal. Based off of what you said, she called herself an anesthesiologist, and in that same conversation, she corrected herself, saying that, a lot of times people mix up the two. So in fairness, it wasn't like she just said it and didn't correct herself in that same conversation. So in fairness to Anna Marie, Anna Marie did correct herself in the same conversation. But doesn't mean that Anna Marie doesn't misrepresent herself, like Joe just said. Norma, thank you so much for the super chat. Norma says thank y'all so much for doing your homework. I appreciate it. On Juicy Scoop podcast, 8.5 said that this year the CRNAs will hold the title of doctor. It doesn't matter. I mean, thank you, Norma. This is not towards you. It doesn't matter because our conversation had nothing to do with doctors versus nurses. It had to do with you misrepresenting and being wrong. Let's not forget, she was wrong with the things that she said to Sutton. She was wrong. Brooklyn Star says she corrected herself because Crystal Sisters won and knows the deal. Well, maybe she did, but she still corrected herself in the moment. You know what I mean? But I believe that Anne Marie misrepresents herself? Yes. But like I said, I don't care about doctors versus, CRNAs. Like I said before, it was her being wrong about the information, her using her skill set and being wrong, because then that also makes me look at you like, I'm not going to you. I'm going to go to Dr. Tiffany Lee. I'm going to go to Dr. Nicole before I go to you. Because you were wrong. All she needs to do is chew her food more. Girl, but she knows what she's doing. You sure you didn't want to be a lawyer, Anna Marie? She knows what she's doing. She wants to move the conversation from her being wrong and being problematic by bringing up what she brought up to the battle between CRNAs and doctors, anesthesiologists. I'm not falling for it, 8.5. I'm not going to try and be more divisive between doctors and nurses. You were wrong. You were wrong. You lied. You were wrong. Wrong. Just saying. Just own the fact that you were wrong and stop this whole battle between CRNAs and anesthesiologists. Yes, we know that exists. However, this is not what this is about. And the Bravo universe doesn't care. We don't care. We care about our healthcare workers, but we don't care about this argument. Exactly. LC says that Anna Marie is a gaslighter by refocusing the real issue. Exactly. Jasmine says, bottom line, leave Sutton's esophagus alone. And Sutton did comment that she didn't realize how many other people suffered from the same disorder. All right. Kyle. So we end this Real Housewives of Beverly Hills package off with Kyle. Kyle, wonderful Kyle. Lies.
The lie.
It's Carla says, we always go to Dr. Nicole and Dr. Tiffany, especially over 8.5. And especially how they broke it down and explained it. She didn't like the fact that they came out and explained that she was wrong. She was in two different ways. Dr. Tiffany Moon talked about the actual physicality of what people like Sutton might be going through. And Dr. Nicole talked more about the integrity of your job. Anyways, I say all that to say, if you guys haven't liked the video already, be sure to like the video. We are talking about the latest episode, the part 1 of the 3-part reunion for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I am going to drop the call-in link for our members first on the community tab before I get into this whole Kyle of it all section. Guys, how would you rate this reunion from 1 to 10? I thought this was, did I say 8.5? I'm going to give it a 9. I'm going to give it a 9. I thought it was good. I was entertained, even if I don't like some of the housewives. I was entertained. Erica seemed a little bored. I mean, she was chiming in, giving us a little, comedy relief in between. I mean, but everyone felt like they were working, though, right? I don't feel like there was anyone that was sitting there. Sutton was kind of quiet, but for the most, we know Sutton's not going to be quiet the entire reunion. That's why she got that position right there, right next to Andy. But yeah, I feel like everybody was working. Anyways, Zara says, completely agree. 8.5 needs to be held accountable for the incorrect and unsolicited diagnosis she kept giving Sutton. She discredited her own profession. No one cares what your title is, madam. I agree. All right. Amber says the doctorate is just to confuse the public. You all should care. We care. We don't care about it when it comes to where we're talking about what they're talking about on the show. I'm not yelling at you. Look, but I'm yelling at you. We care about our doctors, and this is why I didn't want it to lean into the direction that Anna Marie is trying to lean it into, because it's going to come across like, oh, doctors are more important than nurses. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about in this instance is her trying to misrepresent the information. She's trying to refocus the information to about doctors versus nurses when that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you being wrong in the information, and you're being wrong by sharing it on a national platform where millions of people watch it. That's irresponsible. Anyways, Sharon, thank you so much for the super chat. Sharon says, you are correct, Kempire. I was led to believe Anna Marie being a doctor before the show started. Taisha, thank you so much for the super chat. Taisha says, OBGYN here. I love it. When a CRNA needs to put a person to sleep, when I need a CRNA to put a person to sleep or can't place a proper epidural, CRNAs have to call the anesthesiologist. Not the same. Which I've heard. But I've also heard that some CRNAs are able to work independently of anesthesiologists. Again, this conversation is just a distraction. She's distracting us from the incorrect information that she brought on the show. All right. I say all that to say, NYCMP, thank you so much for the super chat. Doctorate to practice, not MD, at 5.8. She forgot ED. Thank you so much for the super chat. What the F with Sunny? Thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate your support. Tyrese, thank you so much for the super chat. Tyrese says, wasn't it Kyle who put 8.5 up to the eating disorder mess? That's the thing. And I thought this as I was watching this. I was like, I wish they would have brought up the fact that this all stemmed from Kyle. Kyle slithered her way from being responsible for putting the battery in 8.5's back. I was like, this literally 8.5 says, well, I was bringing up the information that was given to me. From who? Kyle. And I'm so mad that no one brought that up. I'm so mad that no one brought that up. Thank you so much, Tyrese, for the super chat. We appreciate the support. Sunny, thank you so much for the super chat. Sunny says, Kempire, would you take medical advice from a woman whose husband thinks she's an 8.5? No, I wouldn't take medical advice from 8.5 either, based off of what she said during the season. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking medical advice from her. I'm not going to her personally. You choose what you want to do with your health. I'm not doing it. Amber says that Kyle lit the match and walked away. And they let her walk away. Butterfly says Kyle needs to be held accountable. Alexa says on Juicy Scoop, she did say Kyle told her. I'm so glad that you guys listened to it. That way I don't have to. That way I don't have to. Shout out to Heather McDonald though. You know, I've been on there, but I'm not gonna listen to 8.5 for 8.5 minutes. Sorry. But we did finish and listen to Reese Tisa's story, her 50-part story last night on TikTok together. So you missed it if you don't follow me on TikTok. All right. All right. So if you remember the channel, we dropped the call-in link on the community tab. So feel free to call in live chat. Once we get to, how many people are here? I didn't even look. We have almost 1,500 people here, and we have less than 500 likes. We have 400 and something likes. Let's get to 500 likes, and I'll drop the call-in link for you guys. Honestly, we should get to 1,400 likes if you're here this long watching. Just saying. So I'll decide at the end whether or not we're going to take callers from our live chat. But members, we appreciate your monthly support. We will be taking callers from members in just a second. All right. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, and on Facebook. And, of course, shout out to our YouTube community as well. And our replay crew. Replay crew, be sure to let us know where you're watching from, how you would rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and your thoughts on the episode overall. All right? Let me finish this off. So they played Kyle's package. Kyle talks about her best friend, Lorene, and how that has affected her this season. They also revisit what happened at the last reunion between Dorit and Kyle. All right, so Dorit and Kyle and their issues. They revisit it, and Andy brings up, well, your issues stem from Dorit and what she said at the reunion? So you replay what Dorit said at the reunion about wanting Kyle. She said, well, maybe Kyle, Kathy wants you to take some accountability. I don't think there was anything wrong in what Dorit said. I also don't think there's anything wrong in Kyle not liking what Dorit said. But to hold that against her this entire season, we didn't even see inklings of this during the season. So Kyle says that because Dorit apparently has a separate relationship with Kathy than she does with Kyle. But Kyle Kyle is under the belief that her relationship with Dorit is closer than her relationship with Kathy. I don't even know what's true at this point. I don't know what's true because the way you made it seem on Amazon Live is that you don't have a relationship like that with Dorit. So Kyle brings up the fact that, you seemingly agreed with me in regards to the things that went down in Aspen. And Dorit said, well, there are things that you've said to me that I've taken at face value of what you said to me. I'm like, oh, that's not right. So I'm not going to blame Dorit for keeping her friendships with Kathy and Kyle separately. Kyle, as she said with Sutton, it views it as she's just trying to be, invited to the Kathy parties and things like that. And that can be true. That can very much be true. However, I just don't see why you would expect loyalty from Dorit at this point when you're referring to her as someone you're not that close with on a major platform like Amazon Live. Just saying. So she also questions, she says that Dorit does things to please the fans. And for those that saw this version of the reunion live, you didn't see on the Peacock version, they add a clip from BravoCon. I was there. So Alexander Rogers went up to the mic to point out to Kyle, ask Kyle, why do you constantly try to make Teddy happen? Because we are not interested as an audience. And Kyle, in that moment, got real snippy with him and was like, well, she's happening in our lives. And Erica spoke up and said, yeah, she's my friend. And 8.5 spoke up and says, yeah, I knew Teddy before all of this, blah, blah, blah. So Kyle says at the reunion, she feels like Dorit does this stuff, she does things for the fans, and she's hurt that she didn't step up and defend Teddy. So you're mad that she didn't defend another friend? And Dorit says this, like, so you're upset at me because I didn't say anything in defense of Teddy? I was like, at this point, Kyle, you are just looking for a reason. You're just looking for a reason. I didn't get it. I was like, oh, we're going back to BravoCon now? But remember, during the season, look, during the season, this is before. When they're filming the season, this is before they filmed the season. Before BravoCon. BravoCon was in November. Kyle, you're reaching. And you're becoming unbearable to watch. I know Bravo does their own sort of like focus groups. It wouldn't shock me that the audience is not connecting with Kyle. We need a break from Kyle. She's become so unbearable to watch. So unbearable to watch. Because it's every season, every reunion, it's the same cry. It's the same, I'm like, come on. Come on. What is the real issue between you and Dorit? Because I can't believe that it's any of what you're bringing up. It can't be about anything that you're bringing up at this reunion. First, it's what she said at last year's reunion and her friendship with Kathy Hilton. Mind you, Kathy's going to be at this reunion. Clearly, there are still issues between Kathy Hilton and Kyle. But Kyle has sort of like put it to the side to get along. All right? So she's still upset with anyone that chooses her sister over her. You are insufferable, Kyle. Insufferable. So that's how they end the reunion. Part one of the reunion. It's a 3-part reunion. I still was entertained, but could I have done without Kyle? I'm hoping for next season. I'm just over it. I'm over the concept. I'm tired of the same whimper and cry at every reunion. I'm tired of her just reaching for storylines, reaching for beef. I don't get the Dorit of it all. I don't get the Dorit of it all. And we will see more into the reunion, her beef with Sutton. So that will be interesting to watch. But enough of that. Let's talk to some of our callers. Callers, I know you have a lot of thoughts and opinions. Live chat, we will drop the call-in link once we get to, we already hit 500 likes. Let's get to 600 likes. I'll drop the call-in link for you guys in just a second. Right now, we're going to take our callers from our members. Shout out to our members. To become a member of the channel, head on over to TheKempire.com/join. And don't forget, guys, March 7th, next week, literally a week from today, we will be in Philadelphia at City Winery for the Kempire After Dark live show where I will be able to go in a way that we can't go in here because of community guidelines. All right, TikTok as well. Head on over to KempireAfterDarkLive.com/Philly for tickets. Go get your tickets today, or tell a friend to tell a friend about our live show that's coming to Philadelphia next Thursday. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, I don't know what you're doing. UD, thank you so much for the super chat. UD says 8.5 reminds me of people who are only black when it's convenient. Oh, what? Look, what? LC Charm, thank you so much for the super chat. LC says, did you notice that Erica poked Dorit by saying that it was macroaggression, not microaggression? I did see that. All right. Thank you so much for the super chats, y'all. We appreciate the support, but you can support the channel just by liking the video, by sharing the video. And if you're listening to this, don't forget, you can listen to our live recaps and special episodes that aren't available anywhere else on the Kempire podcast. Don't forget, we always add a little additional something that you might miss out on our podcast while you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating. All right, we're going to get into our callers. Let me switch this out. All righty then. Okay, let's take our callers. All right, Candace is backstage first. We're going to bring up Candace. Hold on. Candace, what's going on? What are your thoughts on this whole situation?
Hey, Kempire, I'm surprised I'm first.
Thanks for being a member.
Yeah, thank you. So, bravo people, Kyle is exhausting. And that whole story that you just told about, because I didn't watch the Peacock version, about Teddy and Dorit, and you're mad at Dorit because she didn't take up for Teddy, that is a reach. And I think Kyle's arms have to hurt at this point. the microaggressions and gaslighting on the show is ridiculous. And I'm glad that this show has somebody like Garcelle that can call it out and provide concrete examples. Because a lot of times when you're being gaslit, just like provide examples. And Garcelle was able to go down like a list of things that they've done in the past, and they really can't answer to that. And then so many women, especially women of color, we experience these microaggressions at work oftentimes. And when we try to speak up, you know, we're just gaslit, and it just makes it seem like we're imagining this all in our brain, but it happens and it's real. It's not like it's overtly racist, but it has racist undertones. And I'm glad that Garcelle brought up real quick. I'm glad that Garcelle brought up Jax and the lack of support that she got. And the fact that they're acting like that she should get over it is disgusting, and it will forever be disgusting. But that was it.
Thank you, Candace.
This show just triggers me sometimes.
Oh, see.
All righty.
Thank you, Candace. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. We're going to bring up Miss Bernice next. What's going on, Miss Bernice? What are your thoughts on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Part 1 reunion? Miss Bernice, you're muted. Miss Bernice. Miss Bernice.
Okay, I hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, this darn computer. Talking about implicit bias, Dorit has an implicit bias against Black women and women of color, because you always attack Garcelle and Crystal. And it's on Amazon. Introduction to Implicit Bias, Knowledge, Justice, and the Social Mind, 3621. Get the book, Dorit. You need to read on it.
Nope.
And 8.5 trying to chime in to try to correct Garcelle, and Garcelle, being the queen that she is, she didn't say anything to this little joker, because, girl, please, you should have just stayed quiet. And I was trying to figure out exactly what Dorit's outfit is. Was she trying to make a sorry into something? I'm trying to figure out, like, and you got the little star on your forehead, like, what is this? I'm just trying to figure out why.
No idea.
Just
look like fabric.
Yes, I'm looking like a waste of a whole lot of fabric. A whole lot. And it irked me looking at this, because I was like, oh, I said I got to stay calm when I called Kempire, because, ooh, that was triggering. Like, but when Garcelle gave her points of view and had examples, Dorit couldn't say nothing.
Nope. All right, Miss Bernice, thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, kiddo. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right, we're going to bring up O'Shea next. O'Shea, what are your thoughts on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 13 Reunion Part 1?
My thoughts are that Kyle is the personification of misery. I'm so tired of seeing her. It's like, from the time she's arrived on the show till now, there's like no change. She just does the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired. And I want to say, I'm disappointed that they didn't discuss Anne Marie's husband's transphobic and misogynistic comments. And this seems to be a recurring pattern with Bravo, because the two new girls on Salt Lake, they've also found posts about them as well, and I don't understand. And Andy, being a part of the community, privileged as he is, he should be on the ball about this. But in any case, also, I just wanted to say, allegedly, I believe that Kyle, Erica, and Dorit are those friends that Leah are talking about with regards to Andy and
what we talked about yesterday during our live with Zach Peter.
Those three in the first row. Yeah. But yeah, just my two cents.
Okay. Thanks, O'Shea. Take care. Bye. Wow. Be sure to check out our live that we had yesterday with Zach Peter. We recap Vanderpump Rules, but we talked a bunch about some hot topics, about an hour and a half. So be sure to check that out. All right, Norma's backstage. We're going to bring up Norma next. Norma, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. I don't have really much to say. I mean, Kyle doesn't affect me one way or another. I really don't. When you were saying, why is she upset with Dorit? Maybe when I'm going to pull a Joe Mendoza. Get ready. Maybe when she scissored her on the ground, it didn't it didn't work out. But I noticed that Erica was being very neutral, but also very understanding of Garcelle and Crystal's position against Dorit. And
Yeah.
Dorit did not take any accountability at all.
No.
It was, wow, amazing, which is so condescending, which doubled down. I've listened to other people say that Garcelle is the Karen. No.
Who said
Garcelle,
that?
we won't talk. But Garcelle, no, she comes straight, and it's not her job to defend Anne Marie. The thing about Anne Marie and Sutton is Anne Marie and Sutton were having their moment, but Anne Marie is new. Garcelle and Dorit have history. And so there's a difference there. You can't expect someone to defend you when there is no history there.
Yeah.
And with that, I will say goodbye. Everybody, come on, give a like, give some love to Kempire, and have a wonderful Thursday. When are you doing Miami?
Oh, I don't know yet.
That's the one that has my blood boiling. All right. Love to everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. All right. We're going to bring up Shannon next. Hold on. Shannon, what's going on? What are your thoughts on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
How are you?
I'm well. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So I loved the reunion. I was very engaged. I actually watched it on Peacock, so I got to see a lot of the extended content or shots that they showed. The thing that really I was really disappointed in, I was very disappointed in Anna Marie, particularly when she brought up the whole incident and was expecting Garcelle to defend her. And I loved Garcelle's response back to her, like, you can defend yourself.
Yeah.
Like, Garcelle has been going through a lot before you've gotten on this show, and nobody has really been there to defend her. So why would, you're a grown woman. Come on, let's be better than that.
Yeah.
I am definitely with you and some of the other callers. I am over Kyle. I think Kyle is just very manipulative, and she did that with that text that she sent to Dorit.
Mm-hmm.
I have a smidget of sympathy or empathy for Dorit in that I do feel like that she has been completely blindsided by what Kyle is saying about their friendship. And that part is really, really unfortunate, because you sit there and you're giving Erica her flowers in terms of your friendship with her, but not to do that with Dorit was kind of sad. But other than that, I'm enjoying it.
Thank you so much for calling in, Shannon. Take care. All right. We're going to bring up Joe Mendoza next. Joe, what's going on? What are your thoughts on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
Hello, happy Thursday. Before I get started, since Norma joined, I just want to say, for those of you guys in LA, support Norma and watch her movie 47 Days with Jesus. Should be a good movie, but based on the cast that I saw, I'd rather spend 47 days with Judas because it's hot. Anyways,
are you taking shots at Norma? I should drop you.
No. There's a character in that movie. His name is Jonas, and he's hotter than the Jesus in the movie. So
oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Your minute has started.
Anyways, I think Sutton in this episode is very inspirational. Like what Andy said, I also want the driver, cook, personal trainer, and house cleaner with benefits, like all the benefits. Also, it's just sad because Dorit really hasn't learned her lesson about spewing throwaway comments that end up just being racially problematic. I agree with Garcelle and some of the callers here. Like, she really needs to educate herself. Like what Miss Bernie said, she needs to get that look and maybe a couple more. About this thing with Dorit, I don't think Kyle prepped herself well enough on the conversation. She should have expected it when Dorit didn't respond to her text. If Kyle is saying that Dorit is placating to the fans, then she probably would not have posted her living in the bubble IG post if she really cared about that. Yeah, and that's all I have. Can't wait for MJ to banish Phaedra tonight.
You know what? Goodbye, Joe. That is not happening on trailers. I hope not. All right, we're gonna get to some more callers. I did promise I would drop the live chat, the call in link. Guys, don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Again, if you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts. We're gonna bring up Miss Esquire next. What's going on, Miss Esquire?
Nothing much. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Can you hear me good?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, can you hear me?
Uh-oh. I can hear you. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
okay, I can hear you now. I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
So I feel like the theme of this reunion is Mercer's in the purse and everybody got beef with Dorit because I just did not see Dorit being in the hot seat for this one. Let's talk a little bit. Okay, so here's the thing with Kyle. Kyle and Kathy are cut from the same cloth, which is the big Kathy cloth.
Mm.
It's just that Kathy knows how to use influence, and Kyle doesn't know how to do that, so she uses manipulation. It's just a different style. I prefer Kathy's style, but it has really taken me this long to realize how manipulative Kyle is. And I don't understand. I said this in the chat. She is doing the Tamia dance around all these other issues just to avoid talking about Eminem, which is Mo and Morgan.
Mm.
And it's really, really interesting to me. And I hope we get into it in the next part. I have said before that Dorit is well traveled, but not well cultured. And that keeps coming up. And she needs to understand the difference. Just because you go to a lot of places and see a lot of things, baby, don't mean that you get any cultural competency, that you understand how to not step in these holes that you are stepping in.
Yeah.
8.5 is a racial pick me, and I didn't think that that was a struggle that she was going to have. I mean, why would she add any others to her, bags? But I guess like she decided, let me just add this one on. And I really wish she would have shared more of her life because she was more real in those few moments where she was talking about the struggle with her mom than
Yeah.
she has been on this entire season. And she did herself a disservice by coming on here as a fan and not as a real person.
Mm.
So that's it, honey bun. I'll talk to you about Miami in a little bit.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Miss Sharon's backstage. We're going to bring her up next. Miss Sharon, what were your thoughts on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
My thought was, it's something about Dorit wants to be close friends with Kyle for some odd and strange reason. I don't understand it. But and I noticed it while they were talking. I thought, oh, this goes back to when Teddy was on the show.
Mm.
Oh, this horse just jumped on the couch with me. Hold up. Um. Anyway, because you know that when they had went on that one trip, I think it was either France or Italy,
Mm.
and Dorit was kind of jealous of Kyle and Teddy's friendship.
Mm.
Now that Teddy's off the show, Kyle really won't commit that friendship like that to Dorit. So I think Dorit has issues with that. She really wants to be Kyle's friend. And then she got mad at Dorit. This stems from the reunion from last year when Kathy was on the show.
Yeah.
And Kyle is still mad at that. And that's how come Kyle keeps making those snide remarks about Dorit. And really, Kyle really doesn't like Dorit that well, and Dorit just needs to stop.
Thank you, Miss Sharon, for calling in.
Bye
Take
bye.
care. All right, we're going to bring up reality TV Erica, guys. If you just joined us, we're taking callers in regards to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Part 1 of their Season 13 reunion. Erica, what were your thoughts?
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad. You? Sound better.
Yeah, a lot better. um, I don't think Dorit is racist or Karen adjacent.
Mm.
I think Dorit suffers from elitism and classism. She
Mm.
always wants to kind of align herself with somebody who can bring her up the social ladder. Case in point, when she started the show, she came in and she was like held tight with LVP, right?
Mm.
And then when LVP got pushed out, then it was Kyle. Kyle only shows allegiance to people who are going to be her yes ma'ams.
Mm.
And the only person who has never been her yes ma'am and who will never be her yes ma'am is her sister. That's why she has huge insecurities when people become friends with her sister. And the only line that Kyle comes back with every single time is, oh, you only want to hang out with my sister to go to her parties. She
Yep.
did it with Sutton. She did it with Dorit this season. Like, why can't people just want to hang out with Kathy because they like Kathy?
More.
And that's okay, right? And like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, so it just seems like this show just has a lot of like elitism and classism, and it just seems like he just wants to hang on to the person at this particular point. The top of the totem pole is Kyle, because we have to be honest, as annoying and root canal painful that Kyle is, the show centers around Kyle.
Unfortunately.
That's the truth. I'm just being honest about it. But
All right. Thanks, Erica, for calling in. Take
all
care.
right, take care.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
All right. We're going to bring up Daff next. Daff, what's going on? What were your thoughts on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion?
Oh, it was good last night. Miss Esquire shared some same opinions I did about number one, Dorit being well traveled, and because she knows different languages, she assumes she's in touch with culture, but she doesn't realize she isn't. And I agree with the last caller that Dorit definitely shows signs of elitism. And I remember when the episode with her and PK and the therapist, and PK was talking about how easy breezy she was when they first got together, and now she's this, oh, everything's over the top. I think her reunion outfit, I assumed that she was trying to get in touch with her Israeli side. I could be wrong, but that's what it gave me when I saw the previews of her look. So I was thinking maybe that's what she was going for. But anywho, I do agree with Miss Esquire as well. Kyle and Kathy are the same people. Like if you're against me, then that's it. You don't agree with me. But Kathy is more authentic. And 8.5, she better be very careful because she's showing up as like Noella did, a fan, and coming on strong and trying to make a name for herself. And she needs to check herself and just slow down. And that's it.
Thank you so much for calling in, Dav.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, we're going to bring up NYCMP next. NYCMP, what are your thoughts?
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, I loved your thing with Zach Peter yesterday. I actually listened to it twice. It was awesome.
Thank you.
You made Vanderpump so much fun. I didn't think it was possible.
Thank you.
Anyway, also, when I was watching this, I was like, oh my gosh, Kempire better have those lightning bolts ready. I could just hear you smashing them as I was watching. Horrible. But and Cricket did not do her homework that well because she was referencing that one, what is it, the talking head with Crystal, and then it's the same season she had the ED as the major storyline, so whatever. But okay, so Erica, actually the caller Erica, I think she had it almost right. I think it is about Dorit. I don't think it's because she's mad at Dorit for anything else other than breaking up her friendship with Vanderpump. I think she blames her for that. Because think about it, when Dorit first got on it was like a conflict between them because she was jealous of Dorit's friendship with LVP, and then the friendship broke up with LVP based on Lucy Apple Juicy. I'm just saying, so I thought, okay, I love you guys, bye.
Thank you so much, NYCMP. All right, we're going to get to some more callers. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Don't forget, I will be in Philadelphia on March 7th for the Kempire After Dark live show. Get your tickets today at KempireAfterDarkLive.com/Philly. And I want to say thank you because we got a couple of super stickers and super chats. Krista Marie, thank you so much for the super chat. Krista Marie says, can we do that please next week? The going in thing. That'd be great. Please and thank you. See you in a week. Yes, I will be in Philly. Thank you so much, Krista, for the super chat. Tyrese, thank you so much for the super chat. Tyrese says, sidebar, I first saw Marcellus Wiley on Millionaire Matchmaker. Yes. He was great reality TV, fun personality, and had amazing chemistry with his match. I'm surprised he ended up with someone like 8. Damn, so many people were on that damn Millionaire Matchmaker years ago. Angelica, thank you so much for the super chat. Angelica says, it's interesting that Dorit said to Kyle that because she is mad with her, she's been punished. Is that not the same thing Kyle accused Kathy of doing? Kyle asked for blind loyalty from her friends, shaking my head. Thank you, Angelica, for the super chat. We appreciate the support. Reality, Krista, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate your support as well. Ebony, thank you so much for the super chat. Ebony says, never forgive Kyle for putting onions in lasagna. Ew. Look, ew, that's gross. That is gross. All right, let me bring this down so I can see your comments. Let me get through the rest of these callers. We're going to bring up April next. Again, what's going on, April?
Hi, good afternoon, Kempire.
Hey.
So Peacock is tripping and it won't let me see it, so I had to come watch your review. I know, but so yeah, I'm gonna find it.
Ooh.
But 8.5 is giving coon vibes because if you're accusing Garcelle of not defending you, aren't you doing the same thing by like I get what she was trying to say, but it's like, oh, okay, you're twerking on the fence. And I feel like with Dorit, some people may disagree with me on this, but I feel like she is like racist. I hate to say it, but it's how many times can we keep giving a person that's so culturally, or well traveled if they keep doing the same thing? That's like you keep stubbing your toe or keep going back to the same man knowing that he's cheating on you. It's the definition of insanity. Kyle definitely sent that text to be manipulative because if you're not that close and you don't see Dorit, then why would you send that text if you don't vibe with her that well? Dorit's outfit, even though I don't like her, I did like it, but it's giving the version of Mother Mary, but she's like the evil twin of Mother Mary. But thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, you too, April. The best. Retha, we got to bring you up next. What's going on, Retha? What were your thoughts? You're muted, Retha. There we go. Retha, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
No, I cannot hear you. Are you have headphones on?
Really? Yeah, I do.
Take them off.
Okay. Wait. Hold on. I'm so sorry, everyone.
That's okay.
Can you hear me now?
That's a lot better. Okay, what were your thoughts?
Okay. So I just want to say 8.5 husband didn't pick her. So for her sake, she needs to hope that Miss I speak many languages fluently. Microaggressions is the main one. Sitting there with a Charlie Brown bang picks her. And the education Dorit proudly boasts about having is giving I went to Europe for the summer.
Oh.
For Miss Student of the World, she's giving Miss Student of Racism. So she and 8.5 and the Pygmy Girl can all go.
All right. Anything else, Retha?
No, that's it.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Good night.
Bye. I love it. All right. We're going to bring up Danielle next. Danielle, what were your thoughts? Oh, hold on. There we go. Danielle, what's going on?
Okay, so I apologize because I missed everything until now, the call-ins, because I've been stuck at the pediatrician office. But here are my thoughts. A lot of people have already said what I want to say. But the one thing about the mother angel, I think, we're going to call Dorito Mother Devil because of the red. I thought the outfit was tacky. If she is trying to embrace some ethnic, you're a traditional white girl, sit down somewhere, like, stop it. And so let's go back to Dorito and the scene at the therapy office when PK said he liked her how she used to be, when she used to just be happy. She is trying to put on this persona that she is this high Diddy Beverly Hills type woman, and she really isn't. That's why he's been staying with his other family across the seas. Because why is he never there? Why is he always extending his stay overseas for additional weeks? Because he's sick of who she's become, and he misses who she used to be, which is who he married. So he done found an old Dorito, and he done revamped
Not an old Dorito.
And that's what he's been overseas with her. Kyle, everything everyone said about Kyle is so true. And I was trying to root for the underdog, aka 8.5 this season, but last night's episode, I'm over it. She can go, and everyone keeps talking about watching on Peacock. Are they watching on Peacock? So now I feel like I gotta go watch the whole episode again on Peacock.
There's a little extended stuff,
and I think I need that because I need people to get into Dorito more. The fact that the whole thing of her calling Garcelle aggressive or
attacking.
She attacked. Garcelle attacked her, and when Garcelle brought up the point like you have been physically attacked, Dorito was looking for them to like, no, Garcelle, you can't say that. But no, she can say that because you really have lived, or so you say, because I don't believe that none of that stuff happened, but you say you were attacked. But this is the word you choose to use. And then the fact that she wants to act like that she doesn't get and just sitting there looking like a deer in headlights, like, no. Stop, close your mouth and stop stop always having to respond. Dorito needs to listen to hear and not listen to respond. Listen to receive. Because all she does is she hears her and then her first thing is rebuttal. Everything is a rebuttal and defending herself, and she instantly, well, I feel like and everything reverts back to her. Dorito can go because PK's already gone, so Dorito can go too.
All right. Thanks, Danielle, for calling in. Bye.
See y'all in Philly.
Bye. Yes, y'all. Come out to Philly. Come out to Philly. We're going to bring up Taisha next. Taisha, what were your thoughts on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? You're muted. Oh, Taisha dropped out. Okay, she'll come back. We're going to bring up Carla. Carla, what were your thoughts on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Carla, I can't hear you. Carla, drop out and then come back in. Maybe something's going on. You never know. Computers. It is what it is. All right, let's bring up Maritha next. Maritha, what's going on? What were your thoughts?
I got on.
Yes. How are you?
Oh, wow. Okay. First, thank you for taking me. I watched the episode last night. And as always, to me, Dorit has that Portia syndrome. Who said that? You know, when you're telling her something, it's always like it's a surprise to her that just like the last caller say, she's always acting like a deer in head, like, what, me? Did I say that? And I think the other black lady that's Kyle's friend, I think when
Anna
she
Marie.
came on, she was doing a little bit too much for me. So if she don't come on next season, it'll be okay with me. And I'm so glad that Garcelle is that person that can always put Dorit in her place, because apparently Dorit don't know her place. She don't even know who she really is. Because I remember she had a lunch. She was having a London English accent. Now it's nowhere in sight. And I'm just like the other caller. You have a husband, and your husband just don't want to come home. That means this man don't want to be around you. And with Kyle and the Marcio, whatever her husband's name is, that situation, Kyle is not being honest. Kyle is in love with that other woman. You know, she's in love with that woman, and she's not being honest.
What do you mean?
She is in love with that woman. You know, yeah, she is. You know, that's just my opinion. That's just from what I can see.
Okay.
That
all right.
I don't think she was being honest with herself, being honest with her kids, and because even when she was doing a little fake crying last night, I said, you know, because I watched the episode before the reunion, and I'm looking at this lady. I said, you know, she is such a faker, and she wants to be that. How you say that? HBC. She want to be that head person in charge. And I just don't get it with her, you know, because of the way she treated her sister, the drunken sister, the way she treated her. I never liked Kyle for that. But I am so glad that Dorit was on the hot seat last night. So, you know, I would give last night episode maybe an 8.5. That's good. It was good where it was for what it was. And so thank you for letting me come up.
Of course. Thank you for calling in, Maritha. Take care.
You as well.
Bye. All right. We're going to see if Carla, we can hear her. Carla, are you there?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Sorry about before,
That's
child.
okay.
I'm on my little 15-minute break at work trying to do this, so I apologize.
That's okay. What's going on?
But anyway, I was calling because I wanted to say Kyle is obsessed with LVP. I think she wants her back as a friend, and that's the reason why she keeps doing all these little digs. I don't think like she's still mad at her. I believe she truly wants her back as a friend. And my other opinion, 8.5. She was too busy down Sutton's throat all season to tell her own story. And that's just so sad, because I think had we gotten a backstory about her or learned a little bit more about her and her family, then she might have had some fans and some people that actually rode for her. But she was too busy literally being down Sutton's throat. So therefore you turned everybody's stomach sour to you. And now you just got to go. You got to go. Sorry. Love you. Bye.
Thanks, Carla, for calling in.
Thank you. Have a good one, Kim.
You too.
Bye. Bye.
Woo! You guys, you had a lot to say in regards to the first part of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion. We're going to round it out by saying this. don't forget, you can take us on the go by downloading the podcast Kempire on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. We also dropped a special episode of a collab that we did with Grace Report, Layla Lynn, and Stephanie from Wine and Chill as well. We're talking about the Portia legal situation. We're talking about the Simon Gobadia situation. We're also talking about the Diddy situation. I also just dropped a new video about Diddy, so be sure to check that out. The victim from the 1999 club incident that happened where J-Lo was there, and then Shine took the rap for it. We're talking about that because she's speaking out. So be sure to check out that video if you haven't after we end this live for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I thought it was a great first part of the reunion. I know we didn't have the toxicity of the last couple of years, but I have to say I've been fully entertained this season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I really enjoyed part 1 of the reunion. I think they ended at the right part of the season, and I'm excited to see what part 2 and part 3 are about, but I am definitely over Kyle. I'm definitely over Kyle. And look, and it takes a lot for me to be over someone, but it's the same thing from last season, the previous season. That's the same. I'm over it, Kyle. I'm over it. Go take some time off. Take some time off. I'm not saying that she needs to be fired. Take a couple of seasons off. Figure out what's going to happen with you in your marriage. Not everything is for public consumption. I also find it interesting that you were so offended that Dorit brought up your marriage. My thing is, isn't this show about your life? I also don't feel like Dorit said, well, I hear Mauricio's cheating. Is that why you had the... It's not like how Sutton and Garcelle were handling the situation. I felt like she was being sensitive at the same time, but also making you have a conversation. But you're so bothered. If it wasn't that, it was the what happened at BravoCon in defense of Teddy. So you're mad about that. Did Teddy tell you that she was mad that Dorit didn't defend her? Who cares? Who cares? Anyway, I need a break from her. I need a break. Anna Marie, I'm not going to say that you don't need to come back next season, but yeah, you didn't do yourself any justice this season because we didn't get to know you. We got to know you and your fight for relevancy on the show, your fight for distraction, moving us from the conversation of your incorrect information about Sutton's esophagus to now a fight between CRNAs versus anesthesiologists. This conversation is not about that. It may exist in the world of anesthesiology. However, that's not what we're talking about here. What you need to also apologize for is the incorrect information that you shared on this show. Incorrect. All right. Anyways, I say all that. But Paola says, Kempire's putting Kyle on pause. Yes, please. Please and thank you. Production. Y'all watch. Hey, can we just look, I'm not firing Kyle. I'm not how everyone says, fire Kyle. No. Put her on pause indefinitely. Sal says, Kempire, Kyle is RHOBH. I don't need a break from her. That's fine, but I do. Look, I do. You might not need a break. I do. And for one person to be the face or what you call Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you already put all your eggs in the wrong basket, because we said the same thing with the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and we see where that has led us to a housewife believing that everything rides with her. It doesn't. Please understand, if they do casting right, they could find someone that could easily replace Kyle Richards. Just saying. I'm not going to take away from what Kyle has offered over the years. No one's saying that. I'm not saying she's a terrible housewife. What I'm saying is, at this point, I am over Kyle. Over her. But that's my opinion. Please understand, you don't have to agree with me, but you will respect my opinion. Just saying. Anyways, y'all. Yazzie says, 13 years. It's a good run. Now sit down. The same can be said with Candy. Leave on a high. Come on now. Bye, and give us a break. Give us a break. Anyways, y'all, I appreciate you all being here. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your afternoon. I will see you all in the next one. Go check out our last video about Diddy, and more shocking allegations are coming out, and all the stuff that you already missed this week. Our recap with Zach Peter from yesterday, our Real Housewives of Potomac recap, our two-part Where is Wendy Williams documentary recap. you got a lot of content to catch up on if you haven't caught up yet. All right. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Be well. Be well.
You both got my best life, yeah. You both got my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. You both got my best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing, I know. I just want you to know. Something you and me, oh. You both got my best life, yeah. You both got my best life, yeah. You both got my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. You both got my best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing, I know. I just want you to know. Something you and me, oh. You both got my best life, yeah. You both got my best life, yeah. You both got my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. You both got my best life, yeah. You both got my best life, yeah. You both got my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. You both got my best life.